It got hot again. Yeah. Once again, from indoors. Um, it was really nice and sunny most of the day, and then I was just like, yeah, and I still don't trust it. Um, you know, so hopefully more outdoor this weekend. And anyway, while the streaming, oh well, there we go. You see, the streaming services have kicked in, and now people have started joining, so that's always good. So for me, it's about 38 seconds in, and just so you guys know, kind of where things are at. That's why I kind of ramble a bit at the beginning, just to kind of give people a chance to get on. Because let's be honest, it's alive, and as much as possible, I like to avoid having people come in the middle of things. So um, all right, yeah, 5 second rule. Um, for those of you who want to know, this is from Mel Robbins. If you want to follow, if you want to know more about this, the neuroscience behind it, it's actually really, really cool. There is some very good neuroscience behind it. The story of how she found or she kind of discovered this is absolutely hysterical and fantastic. And I'm not going to tell it here. She does a much better job of that. Just Google Mel Robbins. There's enough. There's a great podcast with Lewis Howes, by the way. If you guys, School of Greatness, if you guys want to follow more of that, this is where I get some of the discoveries, or this is where I discover new people for like progressive thinking and these kind of cognitive changes and neuro hacks and all of this good stuff. A lot of that comes from people I discover through different podcasts and whatnot. But Lewis Howe School of Greatness is definitely one of the big ones. So highly recommend that. But onto the 5 second rule. So um, we have this funny perception when it comes to procrastination. Um, and let's be honest, our modern lives have gotten very hectic. I mean, it's and it really is about time and priorities and like, wait, do I really need to do that right now, and this and that, and of course it can be overwhelming. There's lots to do, less time to do it in. And the best thing, of course, if you listen to any of these people like Tony Robbins or Dean Graziosi or Mel Robbins or any of these people, it's if you can delegate it, for goodness sake, delegate it. And there's ways to do it, because let's be honest, some people just that's their that's their bag, and they'll just you delegate it to them, they'll just run that out. But anyway, back to that. So there's kind of this trick though when it comes to procrastination, and it's kind of psychological quicksand. It's this nasty, nasty habit. It really is, or not well, yeah, it is a habit actually, and it just delves deeper. It's a downward spiral, because what happens is, of course, um, we go, hey, I need to get this done, right? And I'm not inspired to do it. I don't really feel like doing it, but damn it, I'm going to chain myself to this desk and just do everything I have to do to get that done, right? I'm sure you've done it. I've done it. We've all done it. I'm sure you. If you haven't, hit me up in the comments. I want to know, seriously, or in the chat, or on the website, anything. But I, if you haven't done that, So we chain ourselves to death, or we withhold rewards. I'm not going to, I don't get to enjoy this until I finish. And what happens? Let's be honest, it doesn't usually get done, or not nearly to our satisfaction. Even if it does get done, it's kind of like, well, yeah, I got it done, but and that's crazy, because especially when we don't do it, because what happens? Well, we beat ourselves up, because not only do we not get it done, right? To add insult to injury, then we beat ourselves up over it, because we have this crazy notion that that it's tied to our competence, or our work ethic, or our willpower, or even worse, our aptitude. And it's not. It's This is actually, there's actually a whole science behind this. But then, of course, not only do we not do it, we beat ourselves up over it, and then, of course, it lowers our self-esteem, and then it becomes, well, I can't do that. But here's the funny thing: it doesn't have to be that way. Um, our brains are built for survival, not for thriving. Our brains aren't designed to get us ahead. Our brains are designed to keep us alive. That's why our brains do so poorly in this modern world in general. I mean, don't get me wrong, we get stuff done, but that's our brains and our system, how we stress and everything is designed to keep us alive. And this we'll talk about that because this is really how it works. So I mentioned like the procrastination is not about your competence or your willpower or your work ethic. It's and what's funny is that it's not about the task itself. Huh? Hope I got your attention there. It's not about the task itself. It's about the stress related to it. Let's be honest. Who wants to be stressed out? Nobody wants to be stressed out. And that task, whatever it is, whatever you're putting off, that task causes you stress. So we procrastinate because what happens is stress releases cortisol and it shuts off our prefrontal cortex. Aha! And that's where most of our analytical decision making goes. That's where our decision making comes from, our analytical anyway. So all of a sudden, our stress sets us off, shuts down the prefrontal cortex, and all of a sudden now you're based on emotions, and emotions goes, I don't want to feel that. I don't know. I'll avoid the stress. Anything to avoid the stress. Want to avoid the stress. You feel good avoiding the stress. Feel good avoiding the stress, don't you? We all. Let's be honest. Yes, of course we do. Again, good for survival, not for thriving. If you go, I think I'll go out and hunt a woolly mammoth. I mean, if you're a cave person, I think I'll go out and hunt a woolly mammoth. And then all of a sudden you hear, you think velociraptors. And then you think, no, we got enough food. I'm gonna paint on the cave wall. This is a great comment. So why do we worry so much? Is it a type of stress? Um, yes, actually. That's actually a really, really good question. Um, Again, our brains are built for survival. So when we go to thrive or when we start getting inundated with more than we're comfortable taking on, yeah, it stresses us out, right? Um, just like this whole thing. And the problem is we have this idea that it's the task. It's not the task. The task doesn't, it's the stress associated with the task. And let's be honest, there's so much nowadays to set us off. And we live in a culture that you know what? There's no conspiracy theory here. It's fear mongering. There's fear mongering going on everywhere, and we're divided, and no, you can't talk to that person. What will they think of you? Our society is. I'm not going to say it's purposefully engineered. It's just it's it's set in such a way that the conditions for stress are much more likely, and that's sucky. To be very honest, it really is. It's just, and there are these great neuro hacks, but the trick is we have to break the pattern. So let's talk about the 5 second rule and how to break that pattern because this is kind of cool. So um, part of that, hey, I think I'll go out and hunt, or you get this great idea in your head, just light bulb, ding, light bulb. You have 5 seconds. 5 seconds before your brain goes, clearly not that important. Nope, nix that thought. Our brain, we take in so much sensory input that our brain deletes the bulk of what we take in, or it just shuffles off because it goes, nope, nope, this is not imperative. There's no imperative here. And so it shoves it off. It deletes it. Or if it doesn't delete it outright, it certainly deletes our momentum towards it. So, 5 second rule. If you get one of these ideas, if you get something there and you go, hey, this is great. And I know this seems oversimple. I know it seems too simple. It can't be that simple. Yep, it really is that simple. But what you do, you get one of these ideas. Great. And you count it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have 5 seconds to take action. Why? Well, let's start. Your prefrontal cortex doesn't shut down instantaneously. It takes a second. So it gives you enough time to sidestep all the overthinking. It triggers you into a state of action. The act of counting in and of itself is an action. And the second you take that, you're starting to build new routines. You take action. Now, here's the thing that's really cool about this. It's because you're sidestepping all that stress and you're sidestepping the brain's ability to nix things. You go, wow, I really should do this. 5, 4, 3, and you jump up and you do it. Or you do a part of it, but you do it. And all of a sudden, you start breaking the cycle. Not only have you broken the cycle of, oh, I'll do it later, you've broken that 5-second kill cycle, or the after 5-second kill cycle. And then all of a sudden, you've just accomplished something. It doesn't have to be major. Your brain doesn't distinguish between big and small. It doesn't vary the scope. You did it. You said you were going to do it and you did it. Well, shit, good on you. You're a rock star. And the thing is, the more you do this, the more your brain goes, hey, yeah, man, good on you. You're a rock star. And it builds this healthy habit cycle. And it keeps building. Microtransactions. You want to make $1 million. Very few people are going to make $1 million in one go. Microtransactions. Sell 500,000 hamburgers at $2 a piece. That's $1 million. Microtransactions. Hey, I should really do 5, 4. Yeah, I'm going to go do it. Good on you. You're a rock star. You just keep building up. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll go for that cookie. You know what? I really should have carrots instead, or I really should, make myself a sandwich. 5, 4, 3, to break out the bread. Now you've just done something that leads to something else, and you start chaining these things, and all of a sudden, you start building these really healthy neural habits, because you can't break a bad habit. You can't get rid of a bad habit, but you can change it. You can't eliminate habits completely, but you can create, because the synaptic link is still there, but you can create a new synaptic link and you can make it stronger so that becomes the default. The water flows down the channel that's been used the most. The river is deepest where it's been flowing the longest, right? So you can start creating these new channels, and it's fantastic stuff. And that creates what's referred to as a positive feedback loop, which creates these great synaptic channels that build you better habits and really can improve your life. So the next time you get a great idea, and I don't care if you're in a meeting with like 30 other people and you get this great idea, and you know what? Raise your hand, do whatever you have to do, get that idea out there. Because you know what? The more you look at it, the more you do that, the more you're going to keep doing that. And you know what? I'll go into this tomorrow because it's running long, but then you can start getting into then it starts activating the reticular activating system for new opportunities and new ideas. And there's a whole cascade of neurology of this neuroscience. There's your brain cascades in the direction you lean. So try it out. Challenge to you tonight. Try it out. Hit me up in the comments tomorrow. See how you did. I'll be here. I hope you will be too. Thanks for joining me at live at 6:45. Me, Richard Struther, and here's the email. But I'm sure you guys have seen it from enough of other episodes that you probably have it memorized by now. And if you don't, that's okay too. The website rstruther.com, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. I really do want to hear. I really am interested. I want to hear if that 5-second rule, because you know what? I've been using it, so I know it works. I want to see how it works for you. Thanks for tuning in. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Have fun. Have a great night.